Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to today's video. In this series, we're exploring each surah of the Quran and breaking down its meaning and key lessons. Today, we're talking about Surah Al-Baqarah, the longest surah in the Quran. This surah is packed with guidance for every aspect of our lives, from belief to daily actions. In this video, we'll look at the core themes of the surah and highlight a few key verses that are especially important for us to reflect on. Let's begin by understanding why Surah Al-Baqarah is so significant. Surah Al-Baqarah was revealed in Medina, making it one of the longest and most detailed surahs of the Quran. It covers many subjects, from the stories of the prophets to Islamic law and guidance for personal development. The name Al-Baqarah means the cow, and it refers to the story of the cow in the time of Prophet Musa, or as people know him as Moses, which we'll briefly touch on later. One of the major themes in this surah is the guidance for the believers. It's a surah that emphasizes the need for both faith and action. The surah also contains verses about fasting, charity, marriage, divorce, and many other practical aspects of life. But above all, it reminds us to follow the guidance of Allah and stay firm in our faith. Let's break down some of the key themes from Surah Al-Baqarah. First, we'll begin for guidance for humanity. Right at the beginning of the surah, we are told that this Quran is a book of guidance for those who are conscious of Allah, also called taqwa. Allah describes three types of people: the believers, the disbelievers, and the hypocrites. He calls on the believers to embrace the truth fully and act on it. Then we have faith and obedience. This surah emphasizes the importance of believing in Allah, His messengers, and the afterlife. It calls on believers to submit fully to Allah's commandments and to avoid following the footsteps of Shaitan, or as people know him as Satan. Then we have the stories of past nations. Allah tells us the stories of previous nations like the children of Israel, their disobedience, and how Allah repeatedly forgave them. These stories are meant to teach us lessons about the consequences of ignoring Allah's guidance. And then we also have, the story of the cow. The surah gets its name from the story of a cow, in which the children of Israel were commanded by Allah to sacrifice a cow as a test of their obedience. They questioned and delayed, showing their reluctance to, follow Allah's command. This story serves as a reminder to trust in Allah's wisdom and, to submit to His will without hesitation. And then we have Sharia, or, in other words, law and guidance. Many verses in this surah provide practical guidelines for everyday life, covering topics like fasting in Ramadan, charity or zakat. There's also marriage, divorce, dealings in trade. Surah Al-Baqarah lays the foundation for a balanced life in accordance with Islamic principles. So those were the themes of the Quran. Let's go over some of the most powerful verses of Surah Al-Baqarah. First, we have Ayatul Kursi, verse 255. Allah, there is no deity except Him, the ever-living, the sustainer of all existence. This verse describes the greatness of Allah, His power, and His control over everything. It's often recited for protection and to seek Allah's blessing. Another powerful verse is verse 286, responsibility and mercy. This is the final verse of Surah Al-Baqarah, and is also very significant. Allah does not burden a soul beyond that it can bear. This verse brings comfort, reminding us that Allah knows our limits and never tests us with more than what we can handle. It encourages us to have faith in difficult times. Surah Al-Baqarah provides us with comprehensive guidance for our faith and daily life. It's a surah that teaches us the balance between belief and action, reminding us that faith without action is incomplete. It also gives us practical solutions for our personal lives, our communities, and how we should deal with one another. The surah contains many reminders of Allah's mercy, His nearness, and the importance of staying steadfast in our faith, especially during hardships. We're called to look at the examples of the past and learn from them so that we can build a better future. In summary, Surah Al-Baqarah is an essential surah that covers everything from belief and worship to how we should live our lives in accordance with Allah's commands. It's a surah that requires reflection, and its lessons are timeless. I encourage you to read and reflect on the surah regularly. especially ski verses like Ayatul Kursi and the final verse, as they offer both protection and comfort.